There is a guy in your city right now earning $100,000 a year. He drives a nice car. He lives in a good apartment. He eats at decent restaurants. He takes a vacation once a year, maybe twice. And if you looked at his life from the outside, you would probably think, yeah, that guy has figured it out. That guy is doing well. But here is what you cannot see from the outside. He has less than $2,000 in his savings account. He has $14,000 sitting on 2 credit cards. His car payment is $680 a month. He is 3 missed paychecks away from a genuine financial crisis. And every single month, after everything is paid, after the subscriptions and the dinners and the credit card minimums and the car and the rent, he has almost nothing left. He earns $100,000 a year. And he is completely, utterly broke. And the worst part? He has no idea how it happened. This is one of the most common financial traps in America today, and almost nobody talks about it honestly. Because from the outside it does not look like a trap. It looks like success. It looks like the reward for working hard and earning good money. But inside that life, it feels like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. More income, more expenses, more stress, more of the same. And the question that nobody asks clearly enough is, how does someone earn $100,000 a year and still end up with nothing to show for it? That is exactly what this video is going to answer. And if anything in that opening description felt even slightly familiar, I need you to stay with me until the end. Because what comes next might be the most important financial conversation you have had in a long time. The first thing you need to understand is that income and wealth are not the same thing. They are not even close to the same thing. Income is what flows in. Wealth is what stays. And in America right now, most people have figured out how to increase their income while accidentally becoming experts at making sure none of it stays. There is actually a term for this. It is called lifestyle inflation. And it is so quiet, so gradual, so completely normal looking that most people never catch it until they are already deep inside it. Here is how it works. You get your first real job, making maybe $45,000 a year. You upgrade from your college apartment. You buy a better car. You eat out a little more. Life gets a bit more comfortable, and that feels like the natural reward for working hard. Then you get a raise to $60,000. So you upgrade the apartment again. The car gets newer. The vacations get a little nicer. Then $80,000. Then $100,000. And at every single step, your lifestyle expanded to meet your income. Not because you are irresponsible. Not because you are bad with money. But because it felt completely reasonable at every single step along the way. The problem is that by the time you are earning $100,000 a year, your expenses have grown to match almost every dollar of it. And you are left wondering why a salary that sounds so impressive feels exactly as tight as the one you had 10 years ago. Now here is where it gets really uncomfortable, and I want you to hear this clearly. The $100,000 earner who never builds wealth is not living a luxurious life. They are not buying yachts or taking first-class trips around the world. They are just living a normal, modern American life, and that normal life is incredibly expensive if you let it be. The average new car payment in the US right now is over $700 a month. That is $8,400 a year, just to drive a car that is losing value every single day. Add full coverage insurance on that car and you are probably at $12,000 a year just in transportation. Then rent or mortgage. In most major American cities, a decent apartment is $2,000 to $3,000 a month easily. That is another $24,000 to $36,000 a year. Add groceries, utilities, subscriptions, and most people have no idea how many subscriptions they are actually paying for. Dining out, clothing, phone bill, gym membership they use twice a month. Before you have invested a single dollar, before you have saved anything beyond what is left over, you have spent most of $100,000 salary just on ordinary life. And what is left over at the end of the month does not feel worth investing. It feels like breathing room, and breathing room feels too precious to lock away somewhere. But here is the thing that will change how you see this completely. The person earning $100,000 and building wealth is not earning more than the person earning $100,000 and staying broke. They are not smarter, they are not more talented, they have not found some secret investment that nobody else knows about. The only difference, the single, solitary difference, is the order in which they do things with their money. The wealth builder pays themselves first. Before the rent gets paid, before the car payment goes out, before a single dollar gets spent on anything, a fixed percentage goes directly into savings and investments. It gets automated so it never touches their checking account. It disappears before they ever have a chance to spend it. And because it disappears consistently, their lifestyle never expands to include it. They live on $75,000 worth of lifestyle while earning $100,000. And that $25,000 gap, invested every year for 10 years, at a reasonable market return, turns into something that genuinely changes the rest of their life. The person who never builds wealth lives on $98,000 worth of lifestyle while earning $100,000. The gap is $2,000. And $2,000 a year invested does almost nothing over time. Same income. Completely different financial destinies. Decided entirely by one habit: when does money get saved, before spending or after? And now here is the part that most people completely miss, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. The $100,000 earner who never builds wealth is not just missing out on money. They are missing out on options. And options are what freedom actually looks like in real life. When you have no savings, no investments, no financial cushion, you cannot leave the job that is making you miserable because you need that paycheck too badly. You cannot take a risk on something you actually believe in because you have no runway to fall back on. You cannot say no to a client who treats you poorly, or a boss who disrespects you, or a situation that is slowly draining the life out of you, because you need the money. Every single day, you show up not because you want to but because you have no choice. That is not freedom. That is a very comfortable looking cage. And the salary makes the bars shinier, but it does not make them any less real. Compare that to someone who has been consistently building wealth on the same income for 10 years. They have an investment account that has been quietly growing. They have an emergency fund that means a surprise expense is an inconvenience, not a catastrophe. They have options. They can take a month off between jobs without panicking. They can say no to something that does not feel right. They can take a calculated risk on something that excites them because they have a cushion underneath them. Money in an investment account does not just give you more money, it gives you the psychological freedom to make better decisions. And better decisions lead to better opportunities. And better opportunities lead to more money. It is a cycle that feeds itself. But it only starts when you decide that building wealth is not something you will do with whatever is left over. It is something you do first, before anything else gets a chance to claim that money. So what does it actually take to break out of this trap? Because knowing the problem is one thing. Actually changing the pattern is something else entirely. The first move is the most important one, and it is also the simplest one, even though simple does not always mean easy. You have to decide, right now, what percentage of your income is yours before the world gets its hands on it. Not 2%. Not whatever is left at the end of the month. A real number, 15%, 20% if you can stretch it. And then you automate it. You set up an automatic transfer on the same day your paycheck hits, so that money moves to a separate investment account before you ever see it in your balance. Your brain cannot miss money it never saw. Once that is automated, you build your entire lifestyle around what is left. Not around your full salary, around what is left after you have paid yourself. This one structural change, made once and then left alone, does more for long-term wealth building than any investment strategy, any side hustle, any income increase ever could. Because it solves the root problem. The root problem was never income. The root problem was always the order. The second thing you have to do is get honest about what your money is actually doing. Not what you think it is doing. What it is actually doing. Most people earning $100,000 a year have genuinely no idea where their money goes in a given month. They know the big stuff, rent, car, maybe credit cards. But the small stuff, the subscriptions, the food delivery, the random Amazon orders, the drinks, the impulse purchases, that stuff adds up to thousands of dollars a year that disappears without a trace and without a memory. Spend 1 hour this week going through your last 2 months of bank statements. Not to punish yourself. Not to feel guilty. Just to see clearly. Because you cannot make good decisions about money you cannot see. And most people are making financial decisions completely blind, just hoping that things balance out at the end of the month. Here is the final truth, and I want this to land as clearly as possible. Earning $100,000 a year is genuinely impressive. It is more than most people in this country earn. And it means you already have the hardest part handled, the income. What you do with that income over the next 10 years will determine whether you end up wealthy or whether you end up exactly where you are right now, just 10 years older and 10 years more tired. The trap of earning well and building nothing is not a trap that punishes you loudly or dramatically. It punishes you quietly. It punishes you in the form of a Sunday night feeling that never fully goes away. In the form of staying in situations you know are wrong because you cannot afford to leave. In the form of looking at your bank account at 45 and realizing that 20 years of good income produced almost nothing permanent. You have the income. The only question left is whether you are going to let it pass through your hands or actually keep some of it. Start today. Automate one transfer. Pay yourself first. And let the rest of your financial life be built on that single, powerful foundation. In the next video, I am going to show you exactly how to set up your money system from scratch, the specific accounts, the specific percentages, and the exact order everything should happen in so that building wealth becomes automatic and effortless. Comment system below and I will make sure you do not miss it. And if this video made something click for you today, subscribe, because this is exactly what we talk about every single week. Your income is already there. Now let it actually work for you.